Austin Metcalf. You see the boy in Frisco stabbed to death by Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. They trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue.
Okay. So no, real quick, I like where you're going on this because, well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing?
Metcalf had to go. Look, no, that boy going to jail.
Carmelo Anthony's going to go to jail.
Carmelo going to jail because listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yo, what's going on, America and the rest of the world? Xander J. Hobson here, comedian, director, and producer of boxing documentaries and troll to those who need trolling. This is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, do me a favor because I'm trying to grow the platform. Subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comment section because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all.
Listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Right.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because if you are afraid the day before where you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values. You tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teacher know so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation to say this is self-defense.
Charleston be on it. Shout out to my dog Charleston. I got to get him here for an interview because I got to pick his brain on a lot of things. He is 100% on it. 100%. If he was so afraid and it wasn't premeditated, because that's what it's looking like, why are you sitting in the opposing team's seats waiting for a confrontation with a knife in your backpack and you have never alerted the authorities? And he's 100% right.
So anyway, folks, under most circumstances, Anton Daniels and Charleston White, they're my guys. As a matter of fact, I became acquainted with Anton Daniels by way of watching him and Charleston White interact with one another. And I've been following Anton closely for several months now. Now, under most circumstances, I can rock with Anton Daniels and Charleston White. Although I must admit, a lot of Charleston White's antics I find distasteful, but I get it. He has an offhanded way of delivering his message. Anton Daniels, as far as I'm concerned, under most circumstances, this guy walks on water. He's a very intelligent and informative dude, and I can appreciate his content. However, when it comes to the subject of Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, first of all, that was a tragedy right there. And again, my heart goes out to his father, particularly because he has been the most vocal person that I've saw, but also his mother and his brother. Very tragic event. However, I was just watching this latest interview with Charleston White, and I'm not sure who that fellow was who was interviewing Charleston, and whoever it was, Anton was doing a response video to it. And you know what? I was very disappointed at Charleston, and I was even more disappointed at Anton. And I'll tell you why. That fellow who was conducting the interview, he left out a lot of important facts from what I seen. Number one, Carmelo Anthony was seeking shelter from the rain. That's the one point that he left out. The second point that he left out is Austin Metcalf. He assaulted Carmelo Anthony on 2 occasions. Now let's look at the first one, okay? Now, on more than one occasion, I've heard Charleston White say on these YouTube airways, he's willing to kill, die, and go to jail to do what it is he do. So my question to Charleston White would be this, if I could actually speak to him. So Charleston, if it was pouring down raining and you stepped up underneath a tent to seek shelter, how would you feel if just some random guy just walked up to you and said, hey man, you can't seek shelter from the rain here? Same question to Anton Daniels. Anton, you think a lot of yourself, and I don't have a problem with that. But you're telling me, Anton, if you're out there with one of your $1,000 suits on, Anton, you and your wife, Anton, because you travel with your wife a lot, and it's pouring down raining, and you stepped underneath a tent, Anton, to seek shelter, you're telling me you wouldn't become indignant if a person told you you couldn't seek shelter from the rain? See, that's the thing about these interviews. You know, these guys who are conducting these interviews, they want to push a certain agenda. So they leave key points out of the interview. So, Charleston, I could imagine how you would behave if someone told you you had to go out in the rain. And Anton, I could imagine your position if you and your wife were seeking shelter from the rain and some random guy that you don't even know walked up to you and said, hey, man, you can't stand here. You got to get out in the rain. Now, again, I'm saddened as a father by the loss of Austin Metcalf. I hate that the kid lost his life in this manner over something so stupid. But honestly, what type of person do you have to be to tell someone that they have to get from under the tent and all they were trying to do is seek shelter from the rain? See, all the facts in this case didn't come out. But the one thing I will say is this, the facts that are on the table. The kid was seeking shelter from the rain. And Austin Metcalf attacked Carmelo Anthony twice. Now, do I wish that Carmelo Anthony would have just defended himself with his fist? Of course. If he would have did that, win, lose, or draw, he wouldn't be in all the trouble that he's in now. And we certainly wouldn't be talking about it. But you know what happens, though, folks? And I'm talking particularly to Anton Daniels and Charleston White. We don't get to choose how a person responds to our aggression. Again, Charleston White, you've been on videos spraying people with mace, pulling out blackjacks on people, and so forth and so forth. And somebody could have easily said, well, Charleston, why did you mace the guy? Or why did you pull out a knife or a blackjack? But you know why you did it, Charleston? Because a person who's acting aggressively towards you, they don't get to choose how you respond to them. So I didn't want to be too long with this. You know, this whole thing with Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, it is tragic. And I feel sorry for Jeff Metcalf. This guy right here, throughout this entire ordeal, he has been a beacon of forgiveness and hope. And only thing that I would say to everyone who's following this, look to Jeff Metcalf as an example. I'm done with it. Bam!